Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gatorlight, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gatorlight hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries. Now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
When you think about Crocs, you think the classic clog. But did you know there's also a canvas clog? A vegan suede clog, a coastal-inspired style, a style with studs, straps, and lots of sass. Honestly, I could keep going with the surprises. You've got to see them for yourself because there is literally a style for every kind of girl. So do your thing and head to crocs.com or a store near you now.
Coach Unplugged is brought to you by great people over at teachhoops.com. For coaches who want to get better. From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. Here is your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday, episode 613 of Coach Unplugged. Today we're going to talk with Coach Singer. This was a great one. I think we had a little bit of technical issues because he was calling from his car. He has a little one at the time when we were doing this, but I think this will be a great podcast. It's kind of one of those throwback podcasts, but I think it's a good one. This and Wednesday and Thursday are going to be kind of throwbacks. But anyway, so go over and check it out. You can tell that I'm not getting enough sleep. But anyway, you will be checking out because you're listening to it right now. Anyway, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It is a one-stop shop. It's Netflix for basketball coaches. Go over and check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's my little baby. Allows me to keep these podcasts chugging. Also, go over and check out the great people at Dr. Dish, the easiest machine to break down and put away on the market, in my opinion. So go over and check those great people out and mention Coach Unplugged. They'll be glad to hear from you. I mentioned Coach Unplugged. They'll give you $350 off. All right, let's head off to the pod. Hey, everybody. I'm super excited to talk to Coach Singer tonight. He is the footwork guru. I get it out. Footwork guru. Say that fast 3 times. So we're going to talk about kind of his basketball journey. We're going to talk about basketball footwork. We're going to, at the end, in the show notes, we'll put all of his resources, and he's allowing us to put some on our YouTube channel too at Teach Hoops. And here we go. Let's talk to Coach Singer. And I'm very excited to have Coach Singer on. We were going to do this last week, and Coach had a cold, and he's got a newborn, I believe, or a small one at home, which I remember those days. You can see the pictures behind me that they've grown up very quickly. So I'm going to have Coach Singer introduce himself and talk about his basketball journey, which is very unique. I've done a lot of these. I'm almost up to 130, 140 of these things. And your journey is a little unique from a lot of the coaches and stuff I've done. So why don't you go and introduce yourself to our audience and just kind of explain your basketball journey first.
Well, thank you, Steve. And yes, I'm a little sleep deprived, and I'm sure you remember how that is. We have twin 3-year-olds and a newborn. So
oh my God,
it is.
I mean, the caffeine. I'll hold up my coffee mug. This is what gets you through it. It's like,
oh my goodness, liquid energy right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So my name is Ido Singer. I'm originally from Israel, and that's where I was born and raised. Playing basketball from a very young age, but had the opportunity to step up my game and play professionally at a young age. I started at 17 and played for about 7 years over there until I was about 23. 6-7 years. And then
so are you an Israeli citizen?
I am. Yeah, I am still.
And did you have to do your military duty?
Yes, I definitely did. I spent 3 years in the Air Force.
Okay.
And that kind of that stunted my growth a little bit with basketball. It added an injury to my resume that you never know what's going to happen on the court, but that definitely added an injury there that shortened my career pretty significantly.
Right.
So
there's pluses and minuses to that. I've always gone back and forth. We've talked about this in my stats. I mean, there's something to be said for doing that for your country. There's a growth there for a lot of people. For you, it didn't work out that way, but I think there can be. Yeah.
It's funny because I've had someone tell me that, and it stuck with me to this day. They said about the military, or wherever you serve, they said that it puts you at a pivotal point of your life. It puts you in front of such a diverse group of people that you would never get a chance to be exposed to.
Yes.
It makes you better. It might not seem like that at the moment, but it really makes you better, and it helps me in so many facets of what I do. Just be able to relate to different people, because my background is not everybody's background. But as a coach, you have to connect with them at some level, and it does help me connect with them at some level.
I love that too. I love that diversity part of it too. It's like, yes, I mean, the school I teach in is a very diverse community, and there's suburbs outside that are not as diverse. And I keep telling my wife and all the people that will listen to me, it's like that's what it's about. It's about learning, because until you've walked in someone else's shoes, it's hard. It's hard to know. You can read and do all that, but until you interact, it's hard. Yeah. All right. So you were playing basketball at 17, which is crazy. It's like the balls playing in Lithuania,
It was crazy. That year was insane, because I played for like you have the clubs over there. It's not the same system as here.
Yeah.
So you have a youth club, and then you have their professional team.
Right.
I played at 4 different organizations at that time when I was 16, 17. I played for my club team. I played for their professional team. I played for the 16 and under national team, and I've played for my high school team.
Right.
So my daily schedule was fun. I liked it. My grades weren't really up to par.
And how tall are you, Coach?
I'm 6'5".
Okay, so do you think that hurt? So I have a theory. I'm a stats teacher. Do you think all that playing with your big frame, because you're, again, not anybody above 6 foot is not normal. You're taller than the average. I don't know what the average height in Israel is, but in the U.S. it's like 5'10", 5'11" for a male. So do you think that pounding and all that affected your body?
I don't know, but I will say 2 things. One, my biggest growth spurt was between the ages of I believe 14 and 17.
Okay.
I shot up a bunch of inches. I was not a tall kid.
Right.
I do think there's something to be said about proper recovery.
Yeah, and the muscle, you're like a gazelle being born. You're growing so fast that your athleticism and muscle has not caught up with your growth. And that always, the reason I asked the question is a lot of the big guys that I've had, not the guards, the bigger kids, the more games, it seems like their bodies break down. But all right, so I got us totally. This is like my adult ADHD. I get us off task.
Oh, that's great.
But let's go back. So you played in Israel. Then what happened after that?
Then like you said, it something didn't click with me physically and on the court. And at a young age, I had to hang it up. I was kind of a tweener. I was a 6'5" post.
Yeah,
playing in the league of 6'10", 6'11".
Yep.
The money wasn't there. I wasn't being sought after the way I wanted to be, and it didn't feel good. The game kind of stopped feeling great for me.
Yep.
So I took a big hiatus. I moved to the States. I moved to San Diego and went to school there for a couple years. Later on, moved to New York.
Good move on San Diego. Great city. Great weather too.
Oh, loved it. I'm still trying to convince my wife it's a place to be. So maybe you can help me with that at some point. So moved to New York, stayed there for a few years, 8 years actually, and didn't do anything basketball-wise. But the last 3 years of my New York time, I got the bug again. So I wanted to start at the lowest levels. I did coach a little bit in Israel. I did youth and I did some scouting for a professional team, but that was, long in the past. So I wanted to coach at the middle school level and at the high school level, JV. I
Yep.
wanted to go grassroots a little bit and hone my craft and, really get back into it, which is what I did over there.
Right.
I school and JV, boys and girls, together at the same time for 3 years, and moved from there. My wife and I moved to Massachusetts. I started getting into AAU and Division III as an assistant in Massachusetts at the same time.
Okay.
And I think that's where the journey gets a little silly, because I start jumping around. I wanted to get exposed to different coaches and different methods and really grow my coaching. So from Division III, I moved to Division I as a DOBO, as a director of ops,
Right.
in UMass Lowell. Then after that, my twins were born. I took a long 9-month break, which I would not change for anything. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It allowed me to stay at home with my wife, help out, and see my girls grow for the first 9 months, which was just, if anybody gets a chance to do that.
No, I know. I'm a teacher, so I got to spend a lot of time with my kids when they were little. And you can't put a value on that because, like I said, they grow. You will be, in 10 years, if we talk again, you'd be surprised how fast they grow.
No, man, I want to stop it.
I know. I do too. Oh my God. The best is when they run home, when you come home from work and they run up like it's Christmas morning. My 16-year-old doesn't do that anymore. Let's go back to your journey, because I want to touch on this for coaches that are out there. I think what's really important, and I know in my journey, it's like I learned so much from everybody that and some of it is like I learned that I don't want to do that. I think I think that's what one of the things that jumped out about when you sent me your stuff is like you have seen it all the way through, and you've seen the good and the bad. And one of my assistant coaches is a former D1 Division I assistant, college Division I assistant, and he went and saw it and he goes, "Ooh, I didn't like that. I want to get back to where I can actually teach kids and we're not on the road in July and all that kind of stuff." So I think you gotta taste a little bit of everything to figure out. It's like going to Baskin Robbins. You want to try all the ice cream to figure out which one you want.
Absolutely. And there's so much to be said for finding out what you don't want to do, not just finding out what you want to do.
Yep. And so then what are you doing? What are you doing right now?
So right now I am not with a college team. I am kind of in the process of looking at different options and seeing where I might want to end up. I finished my career at Fisher College as a head coach. So that was interesting. That was NAIA Division II. I can, we can do 17 podcasts on that experience, because for the good and the bad, it's just, I took on a job that had no facilities and, no scholarships in a league that has full scholarships and beautiful facilities. So I wanted to take on that kind of challenge and see if I can recruit it, if we can compete, which we did. So it was definitely a very accelerated experience in terms of learning how to make the best with what you have, and really, there's a great book out there, and I can't remember what it's called, and I think I might be saying the title of it when I say this next quote. It's called "Make the Big Time Where You Are," and we definitely made the big time where we were. I think it's written by a football coach.
Well, I think I've seen a quote on Twitter about, where your feet are now is where you should be, kind of thing. I'm again totally paraphrasing, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's like
be where your feet are.
Yeah, something to that effect. I've seen that around the web a lot recently, and I don't know where it's coming from, but it's like be where you are. So we're going to do, I already wrote myself a note while you were talking. We're going to do a follow-up on that, and we'll do a whole podcast about that. No, I'm dead serious, because, I can tell you, I'll tell you 30 seconds about my career. I took over a program that hadn't won in like 40 years. We've won numerous state titles. I've had 2 guys go to the NBA, blah, blah, blah. We've been very successful, one of the winningest programs in the state of Wisconsin. And I'm going to tell you, and people that are listening, this is within the last year, I've thought about the next chapter. What happens when I stop teaching? What happens when I do this? Because I'm not going to retire. That's just not in my nature. I'll stop doing what I'm doing now, and I'll do something else. But I've started, I applied for my first D3 job when this goes out, by the time this goes out, it'll be done, and I won't have had an interview, I'm sure. And it's out on the East Coast, but because I went to school out there. But it's just me starting the process of, okay, if a door opens, maybe I'll have to walk through it. You never know. All that kind of stuff is just, you got to play it by ear, really.
Yeah, you're right. My grandma had a great quote. My mom used to make fun of her for playing the lottery every day for her life, for her entire life. And my grandma looked at her after my mom told her that it's 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, whatever the number is. And my grandma said, if you want luck to come in, the first thing you have to do is open a door.
Right.
So if you want an opportunity to come in, you gotta put your name out there and do all that stuff. So yeah, you never know. You might get a phone call.
Yeah. I'm telling my kids, pack the bags, and they're like, what? And I was like, don't. You're okay. Trust me, you're okay. So what are you doing right now? Now you're running what are you doing right now? Let's talk about what you're doing now, and then we'll get into some basketball.
Sure. So right now, what I'm doing is mostly changing diapers and burping babies. But when I'm not doing that, you try and help out as much as possible, and I do try and do that. And being the only provider, I still have to kind of figure out and position myself to provide for my family. But at the same time, like we said, it's a magical time. I do have the opportunity to be home with my kids and my wife and help out, so I do that a lot. I also spend a lot of time doing instructional videos on footwork, which is a huge passion of mine and something I believe is so undertaught. And even when it is taught, I think there's so much that is added to it that shouldn't be.
Yeah,
it could be a lot more concise and focused. So I do a lot of that, and I try and educate and share my experience and hopefully entertain a little bit. If you've seen a couple of my videos, I get a little silly there sometimes. So I do that. I do a series on footwork in the NBA and how NBA players use the most basic footwork there is. And there's that misconception that they're, elite freak athletes, which they are, but they don't do anything that middle school players don't do. They just do it better, faster, more accurate.
Right.
So I do that. I do a lot of that education right now.
Right. And are you doing any like one-on-one work? Are you running camps? I know I've seen stuff, and I'm going to put some of my stuff, some of Coach's stuff, and then I'm going to refer you back to his site. I'm going to put some of it on YouTube on my site, so we can give them more, notoriety, and then people can find you. But what are you doing other stuff other than that?
No, I don't do one-on-ones right now.
Okay.
I will do some clinics over the summer. I do some work with the Celtics clinics.
Okay.
So I'll do that. The Celtics camp, actually. The camp. So I'll do some work with them. I'll do sporadic work if there's an AU organization or a club team that wants to hire me to do some footwork clinics, I'll do that. But no, I really just am trying to focus on three main things, family, next step, and footwork education right
now. And are you applying for jobs, or are you just kind of sitting back and kind of seeing where the world kind of falls at this point?
I am not a big shot. I am not a big name. I still have to apply for a lot of jobs. I have a bunch of good friends that will give me some insights on jobs that might open up or jobs that open up. I'm lucky. I have a great network of friends that happen to be really good coaches.
Right.
And, I rely on them. But yes, I definitely am applying for jobs, and I'm looking around. There's a few things. I want to get back to Division III head coaching. That would be my main focus.
And
opportunities in Division II or in Division I.
Right.
There's so much value in there.
Yeah, and there's so many applicants, so many people applying now. It's really changed in the last, 10 years even. Yeah. All right, let's do I have some questions for you. If you could only do 3 things in practice, what would you do and why?
I would absolutely work on shooting. I think shooting is the most important skill in basketball. I mean, we can talk all about defense. We can talk all about footwork. I think footwork is a big part of shooting.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, if you can't put the ball in the basket, the best you can hope for is a tie. Shooting would be one of them.
Right.
I used to be big into defense and grinding defensively. I'm starting to move away from that a little bit, just because I feel the game is evolving that way. So I would say I would put defense aside a little bit. I would say shooting. I would say toughness. So anything with rebounding, anything with one-on-one defensively, I would work on shooting, toughness, and I'm going to put footwork in there. So I believe
So
wholeheartedly that
yeah, so
footwork
let's
is
delve
going
into
to
the
do with
footwork
shooting.
thing too. I think footwork is similar to weight training in the sense that everybody thinks it's important, but it's really hard to teach. um, I mean, everyone thinks they can be a shot guru. They watch a couple of videos and they can, but footwork is so precise, similar to lifting weights the proper way. That I think it's a really hard conceptual thing for coaches. I think we all want to get better at it. But again, there's 18 things we're juggling at one given time that it becomes hard, I think.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm going to try and challenge that. I think I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, walk. So if you can walk, you can teach footwork. I always like to give this example of an inside pivot or a back pivot. Just imagine two siblings fighting over a toy, and one of them takes the toy and rips it away and does a back pivot, say, "No, this one is mine."
Right.
We've done that since we were 2 or 3 years old. We have the footwork in us. Teaching it is not that hard, and that's what I'm trying to educate here. It's about length and angles. If you submit to the fact that wherever your toes go, the rest of your body is going to go, then you already have a good understanding of how to teach footwork. Because if you can get your toes to the rim, if you can get a long enough step that is unbalanced and on point, then you have a chance of defeating a defender.
Right.
You don't have to go so much faster. You just have to beat their feet with length and angles. And I love talking about that, because you're right. A lot of coaches believe that it's so hard to teach, so they move on.
Right.
It's not.
Right. Hey, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this podcast with Coach Singer. I know how much I've enjoyed talking to him. A couple things I would ask that you go over and subscribe and like, both on our YouTube channel at teachhoops.com and also here. It just helps us notify you when new things are coming out. That'd be the first thing. The second thing is prices are going to be going up. We're in the process of moving our stuff off of the site we're on right now, and we're moving on to a new site, which is going to entail, anyway, you don't care, but I'm just telling you that within the next month, our prices are going to be increasing. So if you're thinking of getting in, I would get in now on teachhoops.com. I can't imagine a better time. It's a great resource, mentors, community, resource, anything you want. And if you have any questions about it, email me at steve@teachhoops.com. I will be willing to help you out for sure. And even if you're an AAU coach or a high school coach or something like that, and you're looking for a staff discount, getting your whole staff in, you let me know, and I'm willing to help. All right, let's get back to the episode with Coach Singer.
It's the base of everything.
It is the base. It's like the foundation. If you could go back to yourself as a younger coach, so if you had a time machine, what would you tell yourself?
I'd tell myself start 10 years earlier.
No one has said that. That's a great response.
I'm telling you, I see that all the time. I fancy myself a decent enough networker, but my network could have been so much more impactful on myself and on other people if I had started 10 years earlier. I started at 30. I started coaching at 30. I wasn't straight out of college, at the Division I school, and I'm immediately jumping into the staff of my old coach, who's a Division I,
right.
Division I Hall of Fame. So I would tell myself, man, you love this. Get into it.
Right.
Do it. Just start. Right. I don't know if that's helpful to anybody.
No, I think it's helpful, and I'm not sure where this is going to fall in, but I talked to Brendan Sir, who runs Coaching U and was a former NBA coach, whatever. And we talked about networking, the job that he had, and he said it's all about networking. But it's really about relationships, because he goes, he hired everybody when he was working for, I think it was for the Knicks or whatever. He goes, I hired everybody off of relationships, not off of resumes. So you're right. If you could go back and build those relationships with people and expand that pool that you have, because when you get into the pool of the big boys, they're all kind of intertwined. It's crazy. Like, oh, I know him, and I know him, and I know him, and we did 5-star. I mean, 5-star together, and we did blue chip and blah blah blah. And we,
networking is a contact sport. You got to be in contact. You got to stay in contact with your people. You got to keep growing relationships. You got to be involved and invested in the people. And
Yes.
you can never go into it expecting to get something out of it. It always has to be about, what can I do for you? And it's hard to be in that situation. For me right now, I'm not coaching in college at the moment, so I have to be so much more invested in my relationships, even more than I am on a day-to-day basis, because right now I have the time to give back. So
Right.
what can I do for you? You're recruiting right now. You're preparing for next season. You might not have time. Is there a kid in Massachusetts that you can't get in to watch? Can I go and watch them for you?
Right.
What can I do for you? So, taking advantage of the opportunities that you have and making sure that you invest in people.
Yeah, and you have time. Like, time is something people don't. Everyone has the same amount of time in a week. So if you can help somebody with their time, it's so important. How do you practice? How did you practice plan when you were a coach? Did you do it at the end of practice? Did you do it the day before? Did you write it all out? How do you practice plan? I'm always intrigued on how people practice.
So before my first year as a head coach, I had the entire practice plan for the year ready. And then after practice, I realized that it was such a waste of time. And it's good as a reference point, but we're dealing with people, not robots. This is not put this block here. It's not an IKEA table you put together. There are no steps to this.
Right.
Then you find a piece that you didn't know you have, or maybe the piece that you thought you had is breaking. So you have to kind of figure it out as you go. So at first I thought I had everything planned out and I was ready to go. But as the season developed, I realized that I could only have a guideline to what I want to have. So I would have a monthly goals. This is where I would like to be offensively, defensively. These are the components I would like to put in by this time. And then depending on that, if we have that, I would like to move on in the next month and get these 1, 2, 3 things offensively, 1, 2, 3 things defensively. And then as the season goes on, the list gets smaller and smaller because the list, there's less to add.
Right.
But yes, I would have a practice plan the morning of. I would sit there. I would put all the most important things in front of me, and I put that aside. I put that in my brain. I let my brain go into auto mode, and I do some menial stuff, things I don't have to think about, and that's how I would get my best ideas.
Right.
Einstein at the patent.
I know, it's crazy. I
was
get
just sitting there, and all of a sudden.
It's crazy. I get my best ideas walking the dog and taking the shower. It's like when I'm not really doing anything. It's like your brain just kind of relaxes, and it's like, exactly, that's a good idea. So I love that. I mean, I think we all were in that boat at one point where we want really mapped out. I have like a spreadsheet that I use that kind of basically says, okay, this week I should be doing this week, and then it can kind of, because it's no different than teaching. Coaching is teaching. And, I can map out maybe 3 or 4 days ahead, but I don't know where I'm going to have to pivot or where I'm going to they didn't get that. I got to, that's where it's like, you can go in with the best intentions, but more than a couple days. And tryouts are for the coaches that are listening and that actually run teams and have tryouts and cuts. You can do the tryout schedule, those couple days. You can definitely plan those out. But more than that, I wouldn't go a day or two. I agree.
You can't, and you have to evaluate at the end of practice what worked, what didn't work, what do we need to sharpen tomorrow. I would have a pen with me, and I'd have my assistants run specific drills that I needed to watch and make notes on. We ran read and react a lot at Fisher. So, all those diagnostic tests, and
I've had Rick on here an hour and 55. I had to cut him off. Like, we could have kept going.
Goodness.
Oh, it's crazy.
Rick, I love Rick. I got on the phone with him. We used to get on the phone at Fisher at the beginning, before the season started, halfway through and at the end, just to talk, read and react and what worked, what didn't work. Wealth of knowledge, one of the nicest guys. I have a great story about Rick. I was calling to get the new spots that they had, and I was calling the customer service, and on the other line, there's customer service. This is Rick. Like, seriously, you are the CEO and the janitor of your own company. That's amazing. And you do amazing. Yeah. He's great. He's a great guy.
I told him, I said, one of the questions I said, Rick, do you really realize what you've done? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, well, you basically changed the game and you invented an offense. Like, yes, it's pieces of all these other things, but you put it in a package and named it. And I said, it's going to be here after you're gone. It's like dribble drive. It's like the swing or flex, He goes, well, I really haven't. It's like, he's great. I mean, I told him I want to get on and get a whiteboard in front of him so we can talk about, some of the things that he had talked about. It's crazy. All right. Can you think of one coaching moment that you can dive into for our audience that would help them? Like one moment, one thing that happened when you were coaching that we could dive into that would help them?
So many. And they all have to do with failure. I've had a moment in Division I where as a director of ops, I had to take care of everything on the road.
Yep.
All the logistics stuff that was on me. And as a first year director of ops at a Division I school, it wasn't easy. Especially I'm a coach. I've never done any of that stuff. So learning on the fly at a very demanding environment wasn't easy. Our first trip was a 3-night, 4-day trip to Notre Dame that had so many moving parts to it that by the time I was done setting it up, my head was spinning so hard and I was just praying to God that everything was going to go smoothly. Lo and behold, our bus driver was one of the most confrontational people that I've ever had and the least accommodating. So I had to deal with that. And it wasn't pretty. And my head coach wasn't happy for a very good reason because, she shouldn't have to worry about it. And I was frustrated. My advice would be plan, talk to people, get all the information that you can, prepare for the worst. Always prepare for the worst. Have a plan B and have your plan B have a plan B of its own. And when it hits the fan, you kind of have to be like a duck. Just above water, you got to be calm, and underwater, you got to be pedaling like crazy to make things work.
And I do this when even when I'm working my sonar and stuff, and it's like we're doing some sort of ball handling stuff. I go, Drew, you just did that drill 3 times and you didn't lose the ball once. That means you're not pushing yourself. It means you're not accelerating because, failure is like failure. And there's all sorts of studies done on this, but you literally have to push the point of failure to learn. It's like, I hate to say it because everyone's using it, but it's the growth mindset part. It's like failure's okay, but what do you do when it doesn't happen? What am I going to do when I apply for this job and I don't get it? What am I going to do if I actually want another one? How am I going to change it? Or am I just going to go, and then, so that's where the pivot kind of comes.
It's true. And I like that you said pivot. So that pun wasn't lost on me.
Yes.
But the flip side of that story was it prepared me so much for being a head coach. It prepared me to no end because I had to do my own travel. I had to do everything by myself, and it came so much easier.
It's all those.
I made excuses.
Yeah, you can't.
I did not.
Yep, the buck stops with you.
I was not mature.
Yep, and that's the crazy part.
I was saying, it's definitely it stops with me, and I have responsibility. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So let's do. If you could talk to one coach for an hour, who would you talk to and why?
Probably want to talk to Gino. The reason is, first of all, I was next to him a few months ago. When I was done with Fisher, I had the chance to go around and check out practices, which you never get a chance to do. So I went down to UConn and the practice. He was talking to this family next to me that he knew, and the stories that he had in the 5 minutes that he was conversing with them were so much fun. He seems very down to earth. I've never had a chance to sit and talk to him. He seems very down to earth, interesting guy, seen it all, won it all. And I would like to know what I would like to know what it is that he did in his development that allowed him to connect with people to the point that he could surround himself with great coaches, develop a great program, and keep recruiting the best players in the country year after year. That's people. That's not so much X's and O's. So that conversation.
Yeah. And the thing about Gino, I think what people don't really, okay, so we're going to put this in perspective. I'm going to put air quotes for people listening. He's had failure the last 2 years. He hasn't won it, which is for UConn is failure. So you wait. They're going to win it again.
Right.
Because he's that good a coach. He's going to take that quote unquote failure and, they'll be back. Oh, they're not going anywhere.
Definitely. No, they'll be
Do you have any superstitions?
No, I really don't. I really, really don't. I've heard about this coach that wouldn't kiss his wife before he left for a game because they once lost a game. No, if I do that, I wouldn't have a wife. So I try not to delve. No, I really don't. As a player, I had a couple, but as a coach, no.
No.
I'm too invested in what I'm doing. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, and I think that, and I tell the players, I said superstitions aren't bad if they don't get in the way, because what they are is they're routines. Routines are good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want a routine for pregame, you want a routine. So I said that's okay, but don't think if you lace your right shoe before your left that you're going to lose, kind of thing. It doesn't really matter. So I love this. For the people listening, I always send out like a questionnaire, blah, 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 and tell people and I go, I'm going to do some situational and game questions. And you wrote back, yes, I will foul up 3. So explain your fouling at the end of the game. What's your theory on fouling at the end of the game?
So I was at the WBCA conference, and we were watching this game, the semifinals game, the women's semifinals game at the bar.
Yep.
And, the whole Louisville, the up 3 and all that. We got such an argument, a bunch of coaches. It turned into a fighting match, which was fun because everybody's smiling.
Right.
But do you foul up 3? Do you not foul up? I kept going back to the fact, people kept telling me, well, you don't foul because you rely on your defense. And what if they make the 2 free throws or make the first one, miss the second one, grab the rebound, put it back, or maybe you foul the put back and then they're back at the free throw line making one and you lose. I said, okay, but what you just named are 4 or 5 different variables that have to happen in succession for your scenario to happen. For me, all I have to do is foul you. You can make 2. I get the ball back. So I have 1 variable. You need 5 for your point to make it through. Number-wise, it is not, overwhelmingly beneficial to foul, but you gain control over the game. They had a few seconds to foul. It was 8 seconds to go. They didn't foul. They allowed for a shot to happen, and it was a pretty wide open shot. Right. You let a couple of seconds come off the clock, you foul, you're down to 5, make the first one, miss the second one, fine. If you grab the rebound, you grab the rebound. I can substitute, put 2 of my best rebounders down there. I can pack up that rebound. I can tip it. If I can't grab it, 5 seconds will go really quickly. Right. All those variables, it's hard for you to win if I foul. I have full control over the outcome. Not full, but a lot of control over the outcome. Right. So that's just my thing.
And I like that. I like that no one's really explained it that way. I like that because we coach so the boys or girls are in control. We want you should be able to box out on a free throw too. I'm sorry.
You should.
High school worries me a little bit more, but we should be able to get the rebound guys, really. Mm-hmm. And what's the odds that they're going to throw it off the rim? Come on. No one practices.
They have to miss the right way. They grab it the right way. They have to put it back against a lot of defense that's already in place. Yeah, it's not easy to execute.
It's not. Okay, so we're going to go let's do our rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you a question real quick. I always end with this. This is always fun. So I'm going to ask you a quick question and you're going to give me 1 response. This was hard for Rick too.
1 word?
1 response. Yep. So
1 response or 1 word?
One response. 1 response or 1 word. Okay.
Okay.
What is your favorite basketball, brand of basketball?
Nike.
Ooh, I have not had a Nike. Why do you like the Nike ball?
Feels right. Feels right in my hands. I don't know. Feels right. I'm not a good shooter. I can make shots with Nike.
Okay, there you go. One word to describe your ideal player.
Competitive.
Yep. 1 sporting event you could go to in the world.
Oh, NBA Finals.
Well, the Bucks are gonna win tonight too. So people are listening to this are playing the Celtics, and I know you're out east.
Hey, man, you're cold Massachusetts over here. Watch out.
I know. I think my brother's going. He lives in New Hampshire. He's one of the best coaches in the country, in my opinion. Stevens. He's crazy good. Favorite pregame meal?
Either one. Player pasta. Coach pasta.
All right. One thing you do to relax?
Just watch mindless TV.
I do that too. And usually I'm doing something else, like I'm grading or something. Yes, I love that. That's because I don't have to think. Best player you have seen in person?
Probably Kobe.
Okay. Best player of all time. Michael's winning. So, Michael, if you're ever listening to this, you are blowing LeBron out of the water, to be honest with you. All right. Maybe it's because I bet if I was asking 20-year-old coaches, I'd be getting a different response. One thing that helped you become a better coach?
Listening.
Okay.
Listening.
Best game you have seen in person?
Probably be this year's women's basketball finals. This past year's women's basketball.
Oh yeah, I would definitely think that if you saw that. One word to describe your coaching style.
Giving.
Ooh, I like that. Top bench player of all time.
Man, those are good. Top bench player of all time, Tony Kukoc.
Whoa, he has not gotten a vote. Good job. Best basketball coach of all time.
I'm a big Pop guy, Greg Popovich.
I like Pop too. All right, one book you'd recommend.
It's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Okay.
I hope I'm pronouncing the last name properly.
Yeah, I know the book. And why that book? That's more of a business book.
It's an everything book, I think. It challenges you to realize and ask the question why you do what you do. And once you find your why, it's such a powerful driving force for every facet of what it is that you're doing. It helped me figure out recruiting better. I was able to recruit better after I found my why, because that's easier to share with people. It might feel more personal to them. They might connect with you better. For me, it really helped recruiting, and it just helped me with everything that I'm doing.
I love that. All right, one thing you tell a young coach.
Invest in people. Invest in people. Network, players, parents, coaches. Invest people.
That's awesome.
Get the nose aside for a minute.
I agree. Okay, so Coach, because usually people are either jogging or in their cars and stuff when they're listening to podcasts. So what I'm going to do is in the show notes, I will put all your contact information. So when we get off here, don't leave, and then you and I will talk. I'll get all of that, and then we'll put it on there. But we are let's plan on it in the fall. We'll come back, and I want to. This is selfishly. I want to sit and delve into the whole college. Your job there. No, I'm dead serious, because the only way I'm going to learn is to talk to people, and I love doing that. So let's plan on doing that. Okay.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. If you did, go over and leave a 5-star review. If you didn't like it, don't do anything. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Become a better coach. Take yourself outside of that comfort zone. Join our community. Let myself and our entire community help you through this great journey. Doesn't matter if it's parents, doesn't matter if it's the kid not playing hard, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to break the 1-3-1 zone. We will help you. So go over and check it out. Have a great day.
Booking.com is the easiest way from a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.